Hey, so it's great to have you back. Continuing on what I was speaking about last time, again, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to get you all riled up, angry, or upset. This is not my function. My function is to bring the light to all situations. Okay, and if I see that my fellow humans are being kept blinded or keep being kept in the dark, well, I'm gonna bring the light into it. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Again, search your heart, look and use your intuition. Okay, use your intuition because it's within you, and you can gauge if I'm on the level, if I'm telling you the truth, because I am. This is the way truth sounds. And for eons now, we are like, well, I wonder if they're telling the truth. Use your intuition. Again, this is within you. This is called an archetype, right? There's the archetype of the wizard, there's the archetype of the warrior, and so on and so forth. The hero, the princess, this is another archetype, and this is of the archetype of that holy entity within you, or that part that is holy within you, the part that can go and search in the darkness, because this is what she signifies. You see those pillars? Basically, she is the light and the dark. Yin and yang. So all of my changes have become even more intense since I started reclining or rooting myself in my feminine energy. It's as if, I don't know if you've seen the card of the it's right here, of the hermit. You see the hermit, how he's holding that light. He retreats in his cave to spend time with that light, to make sense of things. Okay? She goes into the darkness of her own being to find those truths, just like the hermit does, to make sense of things. But these are qualities that are within her. So she goes into the darkness, into the shadow, to find those answers. And like I mentioned before, for the longest time, my femininity, or my feminine side, my feminine energy, was my shadow. I felt ashamed of it because people made me feel ashamed of my femininity, of my intuition. Because whenever you speak with your intuition, people call you crazy. Well, I don't know that. I don't see that. Well, just because you've never seen it, you don't know that doesn't mean it's not true. It's the dumbest argument that I ever heard. But this is when people start questioning your intuition and they go, what are you talking about? It's like, well, stuff you don't know, obviously. Because it's being retrieved from the darkest part of yourself. And it's not bad, that dark part of yourself. It's the stuff basically in the subconscious, the stuff that you don't know about that is there. So you must retreat into it so you can find out all of that. I hope that you can see it. I got the reflective type. I don't know why, but I just thought they were pretty. But that's what she symbolizes. And if you recall, wait a second, where is it? Where do you go? The magician is the number one. The number one card in the tarot. This is a number 2, because now we're dealing with that duality, with that dichotomy, the light and the dark. So it's double the pleasure, double the fun. if you catch my drift. So in essence, that's literally what you have to do, to search that the unknown, which is basically your intuition, because you never know what's going to come from there. And you use that knowledge with strength. What is she doing? Is she overpowering the lion? No, she's doing it tenderly. It's as if saying, please don't say that. See, that is strength. When you're about to say something stupid, something's gonna hurt somebody, something that is cruel, that part of yourself, the real strength, comes out and says, baby, don't say that. And it's a feminine energy. Think about it. So the reason why I'm telling you this is not for you to, let's overthrow these people, or, let's get them, That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that look within you to find the truth. Whether it is because of what I'm saying, or whether it is because you really just want to know the truth. Your intuition will let you know, and you have it. So, this episode is gonna be about basically what happens when you don't use your intuition and you just let people just confuse you, right? And I don't want you to take this personally, but because I've been doing it to all of us. The book by Robert Greene called 48 Laws of Power will show you exactly what this orange piece of crap has been doing all this time. And again, he's not the first one. And this is why I'm telling you that our history has been twisted by these types. They're good at this stuff, because when you look at this list, when you see these 48 laws of power, I don't have the book. I actually just wrote it down. I used to have it, but when I left that old home that with those people that I don't really want to see again, I left everything, because it's like, why take anything? It's just gonna remind me of all of you. So bye. Just left with what I had, on. So when I looked at these 48 laws of power, again, I was astonished, just thinking, oh my God, people do this? But I was thinking, it's good to learn this stuff so you know what they're doing to you. And even though I read it, I forgot a lot of it. And when situations were happening to me, I didn't relate it. But there were certain things that did stick, and I was able to make sense of things. Oh, this is what you're doing. Because, when you put people on a pedestal and you give them all of your energy, as basically, you love them unconditionally, even though there's certain things that they're doing that doesn't look like love, that it seems like maybe they're trying to screw me, and not in a good way. But this is when you stop putting these people on a pedestal, because you retrieve to this information and you go, oh, you little son of a bitch, you're doing this to me. So just so you can get a feel of what is in this book, because I've seen some videos on YouTube where there's this guy he's got a light on it, like he wants to burn it, and he's like, why people should stay away from this book, or people shouldn't read this, something like that. But I say you should read it, because you need to be informed about what they do to dominate the masses, to make people all of a sudden be in a cult. And in fact, that is the principle 27. I'm gonna have to put my girly glasses on, so excusez-moi. Play on people's need. This is the principle. This is the 27th law. Play on people's need to believe, to create a cult-like following. Does that sound familiar? I mean, what is this guy doing with the MAGA people? MAGA wants to believe in someone, and he's like, I'm your retribution, I'm your God, I'm your king. I'm gonna fix it all by myself. Interaction with boldness. That's the law 28th law. Interactions with boldness. Don't you sometimes just go, oh my God, this guy, where does he get the balls to do everything that he's doing? Because you have to interaction with boldness. That's good advice. You can't do anything when you're just, timidly approaching. No. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Again, he runs his mouth and he starts talking about how great he is, and everything, and he makes it sound like it's so easy to be the way he is, but it's not, especially with the crap that goes in his mind. I promise you, this is not a peaceful soul. This is not someone where you can find peace within, play to people's fantasies. That's the principle, the 30-second principle. But you have to check out the principle number 31. The 31st principle says, control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. And that's a huge one. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. Because how did he start running? What was the one that he's basically where he based his running to the presidency the first time? He said that all Mexicans were criminals and rapists, and they would bring guns and drugs and all of that. That was the first card that he dealt, but I'm forgetting actually the other cards that he had been dealing out to everybody before that. Birtherism, right? When he was questioning Obama's origin, he wasn't born here. And then what happened? Everybody started talking about it until it became a fact that everybody discussed. Think about it. And now the same thing with the Mexican thing. I can't go on over the list of all the things that he has been saying, all the cards he has been dealing for all of us to deal with, to play with. But those are two. The third one is when he started speaking about Joe Biden being old. Joe Biden not being able to put two sentences together. And then that became something that you would hear on CNN. It became the official story. Oh, Biden's too old. And the whole time, again, I'm feeling like John the Baptist in the middle of the desert, screaming and nobody's listening. I'm like, this freaking guy made it up. And now we're all talking about it. Same thing with eating cats and dogs. I mean, the people from Haiti have had enough, of being picked on. This is why they're here. They were trying to find a peaceful ground where they could just live a peaceful life, because it's horrible in Haiti. Okay, this is next door to the Dominican Republic. And when I went to the Dominican Republic, it's beautiful, right? But the Dominicans were telling me, those people are crazy next door. I mean, because it's literally the same island. It's just split in half. And they were telling me, those people are crazy. Because it's crazy over there. When you have people who want to overpower people, they'll tell you whatever you need to hear, so you side with them. This is how they create a cult-like following. And this is how they deal the cards that they want everybody else to play with. Right now, with the attempts on his life, he's doing the same thing. Because there's actually one of the principles in that book also says that because they give you the principle in the book, and then they tell you stories of that happened in history, to basically point out that particular law, that this is how it works. This is how other people have used it. They bring up people like Napoleon. They bring people like Edison. He wasn't such a good guy. They bring up people, fascists, people who were able to control the masses with their stories. Okay, that's why this book is called The 48 Laws of Power, because powerful people have been able to dupe the soul so they could gain power. So that one is huge. I'm not repeat it. The 31st law: control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal with. So now the left is being blamed for the violence. that is coming upon their king. Oh, stop saying that Trump is a bad person. He is. Oh, stop saying that he's instigating violence. Yes, he is. And where I come from, when you run your mouth, you're gonna gain a lot of enemies. That reminds me. That's one of the very first principles, or not principles, laws. The second one. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to make enemies. You know why? Because a friend can always betray you. But an enemy, when you get them to work for you, they're going to have to prove themselves. So they'll work really hard in proving themselves. Here's another one. There's something, discover each man's thumb screw. Where did it go? Where did it go? Well, it doesn't matter. You'll find it in the book. It's one of them. Basically, it says to look for each man's thumb screw so you can dominate them. And how many respectable politicians, how many respectable people have completely gone down the river in terms of reputation because of this guy? Because he discovered the thumb screw, and he is turning the thumb screw. He's pushing that button for them to side with him. All these people who were respectable at one point, now they're siding with him. And you wonder, how come? Well, I was thinking, he's got something on them. He's threatening them with something. And there you go. That's why people like Ted Cruz, people like Lindsey Graham, that's the name? I think so. They were first speaking badly about him, even including his running mate, J.D. Vance, was saying things, warning the rest of America, about this guy. And then all of a sudden, now they're friends. Because Trump discovered the thumb screw, the button to push, and now he's got him in his pocket. You see? So it's very important that you guys inform yourself in this book. Again, when you go and read it, you're gonna see the awfulness that these types can use against you. But that's why I'm telling you to read it, because this way, when somebody's pulling that kind of crap on you, you'll know what is happening. There's another one that is called Despise the Free Lunch, because they always get you with the free one, and then you end up being grateful to them. So you have to do stuff for them. This is one example that it happened in my life. One time I was having money problems, and I went to my father, because again, I love them, I still do, but I always from the time that we lived in Mexico, then to the time when he moved to the United States, it was always about daddy. I want daddy's love. So even as a married man, I was always, trying to get that closeness, which she never allowed, So I went to visit my mom, visit my family, and, talking to him, I asked, hey, I'm having money problems. Is there anything that you can lend me? He goes, oh, yeah, of course, mijo. Yeah, you're here being really nice, which is now, it just gives me the chills thinking about it. As soon as he handed me the money, he started, well, you need to do this. It's because, you're running into problems because you need to do that. And now it was like he owned me. The switch was boom, almost simultaneous. Once he handed me the money, he started unloading on me and just tearing me down, because now he felt like he owned me. Despise the free lunch. So again, look into that book, because a lot of people will be using that against you. I even read the book and I forgot about it. And when my ex was pulling this kind of shit on me, I forgot about it. First of all, because I had her on a pedestal, so I was like, no, she would never do that. Never get with anyone who's not good looking. I'm not being superficial here, because a lot of the times it's reflecting what they have in the inside. When a person is ugly in the outside, they may be ugly in the inside too. So Keep that in mind. Because you wouldn't believe the amount of problems and troubles that this woman put me through. I was literally being extinguished while being gaslit. I was being tormented and tortured so I could go crazy, so I could feel sick. I was sick. And that's what let me know, hey man, this isn't healthy. This isn't a good thing. You need to get out of here. It was one of those things that my intuition was just screaming. And through tarot, I found the truth. Again, they were communicating me. And this little pyramid started it all. It's when my intuition became more active. It's when the dreams, the revelatory dreams started to come up. And it was like, again, it was the angels, it was the higher dimensional beings, it was God itself, my guides. They were all going, hey, no, you gotta go. This woman is squeezing you dry. She was falsificating my signature because I gave her permission. I said, yeah, you go ahead and deposit my check. Now, through tarot, I'm finding out that she used my signature for other things. That basically is, again, you get what you gave. This is why I tell everybody, be good. Be good, just be good. Because you don't need any of that crap coming back at you. Some people listen, some people don't. And those who don't, they pay the consequences. Not because I send the consequences to them, it's because they did it to themselves. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. Right? Which, before I forget, fear. This is why I tell you these things. To eliminate fear, because fear, what does that stand for? False evidence appearing real? Because it is. Fear is literally being possessed by the devil. I think I have him in the cards. They're right somewhere in here. Yeah, he's somewhere in there. But when you see the card of the devil, you see that it is things that you just end up habits, these little things that you just have to do because you were taught to do them. Oh, I wanted to show you this. Remember how I told you that tarot has been communicating with me through dreams? I saw this in one of my dreams. And like I said before, I've told you many times, these symbols were being shown to me years before I discovered tarot. So imagine my surprise when I saw these things. My dream. Telling you, why is that? Why? Because this is within you. The high priestess, look at her face. She knows something. And it's in that book, the Torah, which is a symbol of the Akashic records that are written within you. This is why you're here doing what you're doing, having the little quirks that you have, because all of that is written in there. So again, you have feminine traits, you have intuitive nudges. That's that book letting you know. That's why she knows. She has that face that I know. This is why people don't understand how is it that I know when they're trying to screw me. Because I know. And you're not going to call me crazy. Oh, here's another one. Isn't that something? You see that? The world. Now, do you see a vahey there? Or a penis? No, right? This is a symbol of those two forces combined. Being... this word always throws me off. Hermaphrodital. The combination between Hermes and Aphrodite. So if you're a dude, isn't it cool that you can be pretty. I mean, hell, think about it. Muhammad Ali called himself pretty, you know? I'm too pretty, I'm too strong. I love that guy. But I love black people. And again, I think it's that kinship that I feel with them. Because I know it's like instinctually, I know of their heritage. I know of their, that my type and their type have been strolling along together in this whole path called time, and through centuries, through lifetimes, I've had them around, and I can tell instinctually why they're being always accosted or punished or hunted and enslaved. I mean, all of the tribes of the original tribes have been colonized and brutalized, enslaved. There isn't one that that went without it, because as long as you had resources, these mofos would come around and try to take them, and basically because you were in the way, they brutalized you, enslaved you. And this is why they still want that power back with that Project 2025. Yeah, I'm talking about, this is not politics anymore. This is a social problem, because it's not just here in the United States that is happening, but because the United States is literally the shiny house at the top of the hill. Everybody's looking up at this country for the example. So what is the rest of the world doing? The same thing. I mean, you've seen what has been happening ever since January 6th. Now you have, I think it was in India, they did the same thing. They stormed a governmental office. And this stems from the Nazi propaganda, but stems from Nazi, basically, atrocities. January 6th is the same thing that happened in the night of broken glass. It is when the Nazis went and destroyed a governmental office, and they blamed it on a Jewish kid who had developmental problems. They blamed it. I mean, think about it. Oh, it was that kid, but it was these bestial beings that have absolutely no empathy for any of us, and that's a common denominator. I don't tell you these things to freak you out. I'm telling you so this stops, because me as a light worker, I am meant to bring the light to any situation. I cannot bear seeing my human brothers and sisters being brutalized, being lied to, being slaved. I'll talk to you later, because I'm making this one another long one. I don't want to make any more long ones, but there's just too much information. And yesterday I took a day off, and I was, oh my god, I need to make another video because there was all this material coming in. So guess what I'm gonna do after this one? Another one, because it's just too much. It's just too much. But it's not gonna be to make you upset, okay? I don't want you to think that I'm trying to make you upset here. I am trying to bring the light so you're informed, and so you're no longer, a victim of these types who are unnaturally inhumane. Talk to you later.